graphic, shall we? Women's national team training camp roster taking place in Durham, North Carolina, December 12th to the 14th. We got Bats, Boston, Brittany Griner, Hamby, Kiki Iriafen, Paige, Caitlin Clark, Rakia Jackson, Kelsey Plum, Angel Reese, Juju Watkins, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. And if you look at the poster where you put your best marketing tools on, then Alyssa Thomas has that fan laughing at her, escorted out by security. We have Jackie Young, no shade to Jackie Young, but folks, I can walk up to 150,000 people in the streets of New York City and ask them if you know who this woman is. No disrespect, Jackie Young. All 150,000 of those people would say, yeah, I got no idea. I don't even know who any of these people are. That person looks familiar, but I really don't know her name. What's going on, Team USA? That's the only person that would say, yeah, she doesn't deserve to be on this roster, just out of pure old guard, jealousy, spite, hate narrative. It's clear as day that the people that made the decisions to put out this poster is somebody that is still pushing back against the Caitlin Clark is the reason why we're all here narrative. Team USA has went the correct route, in my opinion. They embraced the young guns. They embraced the younger generation, the generation that more casuals know. Names that are more familiar, not Alyssa Thomas. Who's Alyssa Thomas? No, we left her off. Now we have Caitlin Clark on the roster. Now we have Paige on the roster, Angel on the roster, Cam Brink on the roster, Aaliyah Boston on the roster, names that we all know. Promoting women's basketball, bring new fans in, and get unprecedented attention for a team that dropped in TV viewership at the Paris Olympics. They would have added the photo of one other player to this graphic, but no. And we all know who that one other player is. I've covered the Olympics and U.S. sports national governing bodies for 40 plus years and plan to be covering them for many more. And NGB's mission is to win medals, but also grow its...
USA Basketball just made one of the biggest marketing blunders imaginable, and fans can't stop talking about it. They released their official women's national team training camp roster and the promotional poster that came with it, yet somehow the biggest name in women's basketball, Caitlin Clark, is practically invisible. Think about that for a second. The one player who almost single-handedly revived interest in women's basketball, the reason millions of casual fans started tuning in again, the face of an entire movement, completely left out of the main promotional image. How do you even explain that? The training camp is set for December 12th to 14th in Durham, North Carolina. The roster includes a mix of veterans and young stars: Aja Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, and of course, Caitlin Clark. On paper, it's a solid lineup, but when fans took a closer look at the official promotional graphic, there was one glaring issue. The players featured front and center were Kalaya Copper, Alyssa Thomas, and Jackie Young. No Caitlin Clark, no Paige Buchers, no Angel Reese. Just three players who, while undeniably talented, don't carry anywhere near the same marketing weight. Fans were baffled. Social media lit up instantly. People weren't criticizing the players in the photo. They were calling out USA Basketball's leadership for failing to understand how marketing works. Veteran sports journalist Christine Brennan, who's been covering the Olympics and USA sports for over 4 decades, said it best. If USA Basketball really wanted to promote the women's game, they'd have put Clark on that poster. She's the one name that guarantees attention, the one photo that makes fans stop scrolling and start caring. Instead, her name is buried halfway down an alphabetical list, with no image, no visual recognition, nothing. It's deja vu all over again, the same kind of mistake that cost Team USA dearly at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Remember that fiasco? They left Caitlin Clark off the roster entirely, even after her record-breaking college season. They also left Angel Reese out. Fans were stunned. The result? TV viewership for women's basketball at the Olympics plummeted instead of rising. The one global moment that could have showcased women's basketball to millions became a missed opportunity. People tuned out because the stars they actually cared about weren't there. You would think USA Basketball learned from that, and in some ways, They did. The roster for 2026's World Cup includes the Young Guns, Clark, Paige, Reese, Cameron Brink, and Aaliyah Boston. Finally, they seem to understand that the next generation is what draws attention. They even replaced the decision makers responsible for the Olympic blunder, bringing in Cheryl Reeve to lead the charge. So when fans saw this new roster announcement, expectations were high, but then the poster dropped, and it was like all that progress vanished overnight. Let's be real, there's no technical excuse here. Some people tried to defend it, saying maybe they only used players with official Team USA photos, but that's nonsense. Photoshop exists. Nike, the NBA, every major sports brand uses digital graphics all the time. Caitlin Clark has played for USA Basketball before. Photos exist, even if they didn't. It's not hard to create promotional materials that highlight the stars without needing specific team photos. So this wasn't an oversight, this was a choice. A deliberate head-scratching choice to minimize the player who's done more for the sport's visibility than anyone else in the last decade. And it's not just a one-time slip-up, it's part of a pattern. Over and over, organizations tied to women's basketball have fumbled their golden opportunity. The WNBA, the Indiana Fever, even Nike, all have struggled to capitalize on Clark's popularity. Nike took months to roll out her shoe. The WNBA scheduled several of her biggest games on hard-to-access streaming services. The Fever's marketing was inconsistent. The only groups that seem to understand her value are Wilson, who immediately partnered with her for their basketball line, and the LPGA, who embraced her star power at a recent event. Everyone else? They're tripping over themselves to downplay her impact. Why? It's simple. Some people inside these organizations are still uncomfortable admitting what everyone else can see, that Caitlin Clark is the main reason women's basketball exploded in popularity. They're clinging to an outdated old guard mentality that says success should be evenly distributed among all players. But that's not how sports or marketing works. The NBA doesn't hide LeBron James in a team photo. The NFL doesn't bury Patrick Mahomes in the background. They lead with their stars because stars sell. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player. She's the reason casual fans even know when a women's basketball game is happening. And here's the kicker. By refusing to put her front and center, they're not just hurting her, they're hurting the sport, because every missed opportunity like this means fewer new fans, fewer tickets sold, fewer headlines, fewer sponsors. Imagine if that poster had Caitlin Clark smiling in a Team USA jersey. People scrolling through Instagram or X would have stopped instantly. Wait, Clark's playing? When is this? That's how you grow a sport. That's how you bring new eyes to women's basketball. Instead, USA Basketball released something that looks like a generic training camp flyer no one outside the hardcore fans will care about. It's not just a lack of marketing sense, it's arrogance. The people making these decisions still want to prove that the sport's success isn't tied to one player. They'd rather be fair than effective. But fairness doesn't fill arenas, star power does. And the sad irony is that even the veterans on the roster probably understand this better than the marketing team does. Most athletes know that spotlighting a superstar lifts everyone. More viewership means better sponsorships, higher pay, and more media coverage for the entire league. The resistance isn't from the players, it's from the suits who refuse to get out of their own way. When this team eventually travels internationally, the contrast will be embarrassing. Foreign fans will treat Caitlin Clark like a rock star. They'll chant her name, chase autographs, and flood social media with her photos. Meanwhile, back home, the organizations that should be promoting her are acting like she's just another name on a list. Those same marketing executives will have to watch in real time as the rest of the world recognizes what they've been ignoring. That's when the reality will hit. Star power isn't optional. It's the foundation of every successful sport in the modern era. And that's the tragedy here. Women's basketball is standing on the edge of something massive. The 2024 college season shattered records, with millions tuning in to watch Iowa games just to see Caitlin Clark play. The championship between Iowa and South Carolina became the most watched women's college basketball game in history. That's not a fluke. That's proof that people are ready to invest in the sport when they're given a reason to care. But momentum doesn't sustain itself. It has to be nurtured, built, and protected by smart decisions at the top. Right now, those smart decisions aren't happening. Instead of leveraging Clark's star power to draw new fans, these organizations are making choices that feel rooted in jealousy and pride. They want to prove the game is bigger than any one player, but by refusing to highlight the player who's already proven she can move the needle, they're holding the game back. It's self-sabotage disguised as equality. So what should USA Basketball have done? Simple. Feature Caitlin Clark front and center. Add Paige Buchers. Include Angel Reese and Juju Watkins. Players that both die-hard and casual fans instantly recognize. Surround them with the veterans in smaller roles. That's not disrespectful, it's smart. It acknowledges reality. Every major sport builds its marketing around its biggest stars, not just its most experienced players. You can respect the veterans while still leading with the names that make people care. The sad truth is, this isn't complicated. You don't need a marketing degree to figure it out, just common sense. Yet, here we are again. Another missed opportunity, another PR headache, another example of people at the top completely out of touch with their audience. And unless something changes, women's basketball risks losing the very momentum that Caitlin Clark helped create. The sport has the talent, the fans, and the global interest. All it needs now is leadership smart enough to recognize its own star. Until then, every time USA Basketball releases a poster without her face on it, it's not just a mistake, it's a warning sign that they still don't understand the moment they're living in.